You're an idiot.
Oh, you're foolish. Oh, foolish as fuck.
We live, guys. We live. We
Good. Y'all think we need this or no?
It helps sometimes.
See what it's like.
I think we good. I think everybody do a constant job of speaking to the mic.
So,
Need the mic.
NBA Finals review. I'm gonna talk a little bit about because like I said, I did this before Game 3, so talk a little bit about that. Segment 2, better shooter, Klay, Reggie Miller.
Better plus shooter?
Better shooter. I'll get a rundown, they stats. That'll be segment 2. We got 5 segments today because I didn't know this might get a little bit longer. Segment 3 is gonna be old school versus new school. LeBron and Mike, whoever y'all gonna pick. We'll go from there right into segment 4. That's who looks like question. Right. Reggie Miller or Larry Bird. And then final segment.
All right, thank you, Jill. Appreciate that.
Name a player who you think was okay growing up, but if they played against
Give it up for him. Can we give it up for him?
Cake City.
huh?
Yes, sir.
Cake City right there.
Thank you for this beautiful weather.
I want to go home and make a whole plan of brownies now. Oh, baby. That's what the German chocolate cake was like.
See where this is going at.
You know what's going on?
Y'all ready?
Oh, weird.
You say sound good? Audio good?
You making me laugh like that, though.
No,
I'm saying.
Here we go.
Already. Who's that, Lord? Come on, Lord Joe.
Yeah, buddy. Back again. Back again.
Get it, let's get it.
Episode 5 for you people. How y'all doing out there, man? Old Heads, episode 5. Juneteenth. Yeah, feels good, man. Feels real good out here. You already know who I am. I'm your co-host, Omar O'Malley, a.k.a. Mr. Rello. If you know, man. Great feeling, man. Episode 5. How y'all doing out there? Happy Father's Day weekend, man. We finna get it. We got heaters today.
I never got to
Heat. And I'm talking about LeBron against MJ, a.k.a. the GOAT, a.k.a. Black Jesus, a.k.a. Black Cat, a.k.a. my dad. He's my dad. Just letting y'all know. Mike's my dad. All right? Heaters today. Reggie Miller, Klay. Who's the better shooter? I don't know, but I do. Episode 5, Millie, hand it over to Hendo. Where can they find you at?
Man, Chris Anderson, whole government on Facebook. Find me on Twitter. 2K Energy, Energy 2K. Otherwise, Endo all day, man. Go on the day.
Thank you. Y'all give her a hand.
Jay Downs on Facebook. I actually just changed my Instagram. I'm gonna drop it in the comments. Follow for workout videos and some funny reels.
Your boy B.I. man, Bills, you know what I'm saying? And you can actually catch me here at Riverside Park, Juneteenth, man. That's what we're doing right now today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big one today, man. How about we talk about the NBA Finals? Let's kick that off.
Let's kick off the elephant in the room, man. Can I get my due justifications when I get it? Warriors are 6,
I
baby.
go last.
Okay, so before we do that, we're going to first talk about Game 3, and I will say I was wrong. I had Boston taking it in 6. I was wrong about that. I really thought that fourth quarter was going to be a thing. It didn't work out well. It seems that little light-skinned gentleman, he seemed
Chef cooking.
yeah, the chef was cooking people. Yes, sir. The chef was cooking. Like I say, I really thought Boston. I know that one game they were 31-19 in the fourth season. That was during the fourth quarter, during the regular season. And yeah, I really don't know what happened. I really know. I thought Boston had the size. I thought from a defensive standpoint that Boston would play. I thought from a
defensive standpoint that Boston would play a lot better than what they did. What really surprised me actually was how good Golden State was defensively. I don't know if that surprised you guys, but I didn't realize Golden State was actually number 2 this year in the NBA as far as defense goes. So I was super, super impressed with that. Jordan Poole seemed to step up. This gentleman had Jordan Poole at number 4 in the league.
Hey, coming, man. You been coming, man. Y'all look out for my guy, man.
I don't know about that, but he definitely came up big. Yeah, man. I want to know, I guess, kind of what y'all think, man. How y'all feel about that? What do you think happened in the fourth quarter? What do you think changed? And yeah, keep going.
I think it was what we called it was. I think the fact that Steph and Klay and Draymond and Iggy and a lot of people on that roster have been there before, and I kept reiterating that was going to be a highlight coming in a lot later games in the finals, and it sure proved true. I looked at Klay and I looked at Steph and I was like, man, you guys been here before. Y'all literally played against a similar team like this where they had a bunch of stars like this. I look at it like when they played Cleveland. I look at it, I don't think that Boston team was no more better than that Cleveland team that the Warriors had to take. Really, when you really look at it, the main scorer, Tatum. Main scorer, LeBron. Complementary scorers, yeah, but the thing about Cleveland is like I felt like Cleveland played the same style of ball that Boston tried to approach Golden State with, that bully ball. And you know, when that finally clicked and Klay and Steph had, they know how to play the reverse of the bully ball. And that's what happened. Everybody thought Boston was going to come in and be super physical, and they were. But what happens when you can't put a hand and push somebody or get their hand because they too fast? And I felt like that's what it came down. That, and I was really disappointed in the amount of turnovers that Boston had. The amount of turnovers really cost them. But that also comes from what Billy also talked about, the lack of having no point guard in the true position. And that's what is always going to fall down. As much as I like Marcus Smart, he was the defensive leader for a reason. Not a good dribbler, not an offense. He can score, but he's not, he doesn't produce enough offensively. He's great on defense.
So does Boston
Need a point guard, y'all think? Y'all think they need a point guard?
If they don't get a point guard, they don't make it back to where they are. I like what they say defensively without going out and getting a point guard and take away or maybe the whole livelihood of Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart should be on his goals, but they need to figure out a way to handle the ball and goals.
So should they put Smart at the 2?
Honestly, man, I like it at the 1 because I like his size on the point guard. He's going to be the size every night. Traveling 50. So I feel like he
Can I get a cup?
on the floor.
All right, I know that's right. Well,
Keep Marcus Smart on the floor with Jason Tatum with a those guys need to develop. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take my turn, so I got the mic right now. To me, this is the most disappointing finals I've ever seen in my entire life. If you look at the build-up, there's only one other finals that can actually compare, and that was Golden. That was the Thunder, and I got those vibes too. I was like, oh, the Thunder better on paper than than the Miami Heat, but they still lost. I got those vibes after game 1 when Boston took game 1. I was like, you know what? They the better team with that inexperience, man. Like you just see it oozing through. They got hot at the end of game 1. They should have lost that game. Golden State got cold. I hate to keep saying that to everybody, but Golden State proved they show what they can do when they're not hitting on all cylinders in the fourth quarter. When there's a lot of pressure on them, and you have to put them in pressurized moments to actually beat them. You got to take it from their cold, dead hands. They ain't going to get you nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's what experience do. They don't get you nothing. And experience just proved to be too much. You know what I'm saying? And actually, what happens when you're trying to out-physical somebody, but you the one getting pushed around? You got the size advantage on these dudes, and Draymond Green is bully. You talking about bully ball on the Celtics side, I seen the Celtics actually getting bullied. You know what I'm saying? So that advantage went right out the window right away. You know, so like honestly, I'm just actually more disappointed than anything else because Boston didn't live up to their potential. You know, on paper they were the better team, and even if they were to lose, they still should have put up a better fight. They quit.
They did.
They quit
got
2
punched in
games.
the mouth
Yeah,
and
2
laid
games
down.
left. They quit.
Hey, give me one PI real quick, man. We got the church, man. Yo, we got church master, man. Come on, man. This is a lacrosse legend out here, man. It's the church master, man. Let's man, good, man.
I wake up for both. They both for y'all, so you know how it's going to be.
Hey, man.
Both hands are sick.
Hey, great to see you out here, though, man.
Yeah,
Blessed day.
Hey, they call me church master. If y'all can hear me, I've been doing this crap since I was born. Never call it crap. Developing to this. Check it out. You ready? Y'all ready?
That's all they get. That's all they get. They got a pay if they want both. That's all y'all get.
That's all y'all get, man. You gotta buy the album.
I love these guys.
Gotta buy the album.
Man, let me grab my tip.
Hey, thanks for
I don't
blessing,
have
man.
nothing left.
Ready? Stop. You got the hate on this hill.
Food dropping the CD next month, man. They number church, man. Go ahead and get that, man. Cop that local left here.
But anyways, man, back to what's going on, man. Boston, this finals, man. We talk about how Boston let us down, man. It's on you, Jay, man, because you the big Tatum fan. You got Tatum in your top two.
Man, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I'm not too surprised. I had Boston at 7, and to be real with you, I'm not necessarily surprised by the outcome. I'm just surprised at how it went down. Because Jason Tatum, man, you disappeared, bro. It's one thing if you go out there and you try your ass off, you just missing shots or something like that, but just to kind of just fold, that's one thing I can't stand to see from players myself. I don't like it, you just kind of, I think he took 1 or 2 shots in the second half of game 6 of a closeout game, bro. Like, I got vibes. The 3 players I've seen do that, and to me, I call that quitting on your team. I've seen James Harden do it. I've seen Kevin Durant do it earlier this year, and now Jason Tatum. And just to, like I said, just to not even take them shots was heavily disappointing. I got a lot of respect for Jaylen Brown because he steps up when they need him to step up. But yeah, man, I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and say they need to change a heck of a lot, though. Part of me thinks that they just need to get a little bit older and develop a little bit more. But hey, that's my take on it. Shout out to the Warriors. Shout out Steph. Man, you earned it. You took what's yours. You beat the Defensive Player of the Year. Shit, you deserve every bit of it.
Shout out to the little homies, man. Check y'all deuces up, man. Y'all out here, man. Representing the team, man. Vail, one of the little up-and-coming basketball players he put himself through. This my snappy head Bombcat. Beware of these, man. Young Hoopers coming up, man.
That's what's up.
Man. Tell live up. Don't be shouting out. He said, that's the word out here, man.
I know I was definitely surprised, man. I really thought Boston would take it in 7. I thought that size would be a bigger difference, but it seems as if Steph is Steph, man. Steph is Steph.
I don't like the chalk though.
He finally had his moment. He finally had his playoff moment at 43-10, Finals MVP. So I think
he deserved everything he get, but in history, you only remember the winner.
So I'm not mad at, what I'm saying, what Steph did, Golden State did. I'm actually happy for him, glad he got his 4 that put him out there with Shaq and dudes like that, even LeBron. So, maybe those open up some other debates later on. But at the same point in time, let's not act like Boston's failure has just as much to do with Golden State's success this year. If Boston would have played at least to 75% of their potential, we're talking about at least a game 7, in my opinion.
What you said was turnovers?
It was definitely the turnovers, but it was just overall inexperience, nervousness. They playing hot potato, hit, you take it, hopefully it's your turn to look, man. Whenever the motion stop in the offense, it ain't because you played that many games in a series or in the playoff. It's not because the other team is just better than you. Sometimes you get stuck in a standstill, and then you still need to find that motion, that rhythm. All the motion, all the little backdoor cuts and stuff stop. And it's not because Golden State was stronger. Boston gave up. They quit. They quit. They got their heart snatched out their chest. And that part I'm giving Golden State credit for. That experience of snatching hearts and souls out your chest is what happened. You know, that's what I give Golden State credit for. But, you know, Boston mainly just, you know, they failed under the pressure, man.
I agree.
I think as much as we give Golden State credit and Boston credit, we gotta look at some of these coaching jobs too. You know, Boston has a rookie coach over there, and sometimes that moment got a little overwhelming him. Like there's situations where he might know how to coach that. You know, when it comes into these late game scenarios and going into these game 6s and game 7s and stuff like that, to me it's on the players, but sometimes it's coaching. Coaching has to realize, like, damn, we got 7 turnovers. Let me take somebody out and get this rotation in. Like, and you know, and I think, you know, I take nothing away. I think he did an awesome job this year. You know, first job going all the way to the finals, your rookie coach. But I mean, but Kerr is a veteran on and off the floor. Like, this man know what he's doing, and I think there were some adjustments made in some of them games that really inflicted on how the outcome of that game turned, doing rotation-wise and certain timeouts and good calls. But they put a lot of pressure on the refs this year, and that's the one thing I haven't really seen is so much pressure being put on the refs. Draymond was making them refs work. I felt bad for them refs. I didn't know who was playing more, the players or the refs. They was getting put on the scene. So that was tough. That was tough for them. And
my little final point on that, man, is you know, like I said, shout out to the Warriors for getting it done. Take, like my man B.I. said, take kind of the soul of Boston. But when you get Jason Tatum on Stephen Curry in the post and even the mid-range, that should be 2 points automatic. Like that, like I said, that's why I can't really harp on nobody. I think Jason Tatum just needs to get a little bit, you know, bigger in the moment. You know, he needs to find out how to get a little bit bigger, maybe a little more mentally tough in the moment. Like I said, I think that's kind of one of the drawbacks with the players nowadays. I feel like they're getting bigger, faster, and stronger, but I feel like sometimes they don't have the killer instinct as much, or, you know, the drive. You know, it's kind of a business. You know, these guys getting paid all this money now, but I just don't really find much excuse in that. You know, you gotta put up some shots, man. Even if you ain't making them, you know, you gotta at least try for your team. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. Hopefully, you know, Boston, like I said, it's not like they're terrible. They made the finals, you know, with a rookie head coach with 24-year-old players, so they got a bright road. But, you know, they ran into some champions, some guys with some heart of a champion. So, you know, shout out them.
Hey, big shout out to everybody that came out to Juneteenth, man. We got everybody coming through. Make sure y'all come through the backside so we can see y'all on the live too. We want to see y'all in them pretty dresses. We want everybody to see y'all, man. We live, man. Shout out, man. Look at all these beautiful women, man. Shout out. Look at all these chocolate queens, man. Blessed to see y'all, man. Make sure y'all wave to the live. Don't forget about it. And the young kings trailing in the back. We see the young gentlemen out here looking precious. Come on, y'all. Y'all do y'all thing, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I think just to finish on the finals, I think a lot of it had to do with experience. I think, I touched on that a little bit. I think a lot of it was just the Warriors and that championship pedigree. Just like Klay said, I don't know if y'all saw, he made a comment about Jaren Jackson had said something about strength in numbers. And after they won, Klay said something to the extent of, called him a clown. I don't know if y'all saw that. He called him a clown and said, you know, we know what it takes. And I feel like experience can play a key role for the most part. It can. It definitely plays a key role. I thought the size of Boston would kind of negate that, but obviously I was wrong. And I mean, congrats to the Warriors, man. I think we can all say that. Congrats to the Warriors. Congrats to Steph. Congrats to Steve Kerr. I think that puts him right up there with your man Pop, in my opinion. I think when you're talking about coaching, he's still chasing Pop. Live basketball podcast. I think she said Jordan. She's a Boston fan.
She said Jordan was better than LeBron.
Yeah, she did say that. Actually, she said Paul Gasol's better. But anyway.
All I know is Jordan Poole got a ring before Luka. That's all I know, man.
Jordan Poole did get a ring before Luka. How about that?
How about that, man?
Let's swap them out. Let's swap them out.
All y'all
See how
leaders,
Dallas is.
He say let's
all y'all leaders is defeated.
Bullshit.
Right?
Bullshit.
third, fourth option, the bench player. Like,
Oh, shit.
All y'all leaders went down.
Not at
All
all.
y'all leaders went down to the hands of
I feel
Jordan.
like I'm in the Black Panther movie. This
You really waiting that right now?
Kaminga, my favorite player. I don't know what y'all
No,
talking
he's my favorite.
about.
No, I ain't gonna lie. Jordan Poole, my favorite up and coming player.
Jordan Poole?
What I seen from him this year was good. But the one thing I have seen about players is they'll have a spectacular year like this.
They'll have a great season, great playoffs, and we won't hear about them next year or something, you know, injury or just no rotation or something. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Jordan Poole brings to the table, because if he comes back and plays exceptional like he did this year, we'll have to put him in those talks of respects of being a respected player and a superstar soon enough, if he continues at that level. If he dips down, then he'll just be that guy.
What does that guy know anyway? What does he know? What does he know? Nothing.
Let me ask y'all something. Do y'all think Poole will be an all-star next year? You think he'll be an all-star next year? No? What'd you say, Jay?
Too many other guards in the West.
Too many elder? What?
One guard, always point forward.
You gotta get started.
Well, what about Klay?
He started half the year.
What about?
I mean, he started majority of the year when Klay was out, but he did. He started, damn it. He started
Finals, we know they're starting. It's Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. That's the two guards.
I was about to say,
That's
I was about to
fine.
say, Klay was coming back.
Right.
But even in the very first game, they started pulling Iguodala, and they didn't stop that whole rotation. He was in the starting rotation. They just searched him out. But they had Klay coming off the bench at one time.
Next year, Klay
got
coming
help.
off the bench.
No, right? It's Klay, the Splash Bros.
To be honest with you, we can't fairly say that because we're looking at
Jordan Poole, who's a younger player compared to a just coming off an injury Klay. You might try to calm down on some of the minutes with Klay and let Jordan go ahead and do him and let y'all ride his wave up there and then have Klay show up in the playoffs.
That sounds good. We talking about Klay Thompson. This dude came back so early.
He did, but he can because
votes he can buy and say like
Steve Kerr still tells him to sit down. There was times in the playoffs where Klay didn't want to come out, and Kerr told him that you have to come out. That's what Kerr does, and that's what makes him a good job. He knows how much weight to put on each player to where they can take it and not overdo them. That was a good thing when Kerr was a player, knowing how to just take it to the limit but never over the limit. That's why I think Kerr still be a head coach. I think he can manage that well. That's how a head coach manages stars and up-and-coming stars. That's how you get them together. I say that there'll be another contender. I can't call the finals right now because there was a lot of great teams out here that I felt should have went a little further but didn't. So I can't really pre-count that because I'm still a real big Nuggets fan, you know what I'm saying? Because I still think they have the potential to go a lot farther than they have. I don't think the Suns make it as good next year. I think they're the one to drop out. I don't know if they even make the playoffs next year. If Ayton leaves.
I think they might
I don't know what LA plans on doing right now. I don't see the Clippers really stepping up and doing anything, but I see the Jazz figuring some things out. They're kind of in that limbo area right now. They got to figure out who they're gonna keep superstar wise, but I think it's some up and coming teams out there. I can't quite say that they'll be there, but I can definitely tell you that the Warriors will be in the playoffs next year. I can guarantee you and tell you that.
I'll definitely agree with that. Talking about the Warriors, man, I think we're gonna head right into segment 2, unless anybody else got anything to say about the finals, anything. Fuck the Warriors, anything like that. I will say one thing about the finals. Bulls and 8. Bulls and 8. But since we're gonna move right and talk about the finals, let's talk about what we was talking about Klay. And this is a good one, man. If y'all out there want to participate, who's a better shooter, Reggie Miller or Klay Thompson? I'm gonna give y'all a little rundown real quick, and then y'all can opine and let me know how y'all feel about it. Points per game for their career: Klay Thompson 19.5, Reggie Miller 18.2. Field goal percentage 45% for Klay, 47% for Reggie. 3-point percentage 41% for Klay, 39% for Reggie. Free throw percentage 84 for Klay, 88 for Reggie. Highlights: Game 6 Klay, 41 against OKC, 37 in one quarter, 14 threes made in a game, which is the record. Reggie Miller highlights:
we all know. The choke, 11 points in 8 seconds, 8 threes in one game, and he's 4th all-time in three-pointers made, and 2,560 three-pointers made. Who is the better shooter? I'll let y'all kick it off. Who wants to go first? You go?
I think Reggie Miller is probably a better clutch time shooter. If you were to need a three-pointer at the buzzer, I think Reggie's the guy to go to. Klay doesn't really kill the game for me. He usually has to defer to Curry when it comes down to the big shots, and I kind of noticed that. But when it comes down to volume shots, points made, buckets made, I want to go with Klay. Klay has the ability to put up a lot of threes just genuinely without forcing it. Well, I feel like a lot of Reggie shots, they were kind of like closeouts. They were good shots, tough shots to make. But Klay just has the big thing about Klay is Klay's still playing. So anything he does going forward is going to actually go to any of his accolades, where we're actually just looking at all Reggie Miller's career. So it's a little biased, going to it, but I'm still going to go with Klay. I think Reggie is a great three-point shooter, but I think if Klay goes and, Klay's had to sit out 2 years for injury, 2 years. If Klay would have played in that, God knows the records he would have broke on the three-point line, He's just getting back to his rhythm. So given the injury, given the next couple of years, I'm going with Klay because I think he's a better overall shooter. I think Reggie Miller's a better clutch time shooter, but Klay Thompson is probably the best three-point shooter overall in this category.
Okay, I like that. So how I had to break this down is because it was a tough one. I actually think that I broke it down in three categories. I did pretty much standstill shooting, jump shooting, set shots, whatever. Then I did moving shots, and then I did clutch shooting. And we'll start with this, just set shooting. I think Klay I can't underestimate it. He is one of the greatest set shooters, I think, in the history of the game. Honestly, I think he's better than Steph, if you really ask me. I think he's just a better, pure shooter. I think Curry, not to make it between Curry and them, but I just think he's more acrobatic with his circus threes. But I think also Reggie Miller is better moving. I think when it comes to pulling up, pull-ups, moving, fading away, stuff like that, I think Reggie Miller was a little bit better. And so, I had a 1-1 on that. So the tiebreaker, I had to go with Reggie Miller. I think he in the clutch. I think he's more of a clutch shooter than Klay Thompson. Now, like I said, I don't want to make it sound like I'm taking anything away from Klay because, like I said, I hold him on up here when it comes to set shooting. I don't think there's anybody who really does it better when he's in his groove. But just for the simple fact that Reggie Miller can shoot off the dribble, hit pull-ups, hit fadeaways, and then he's as clutch as he's been in his career. I had to give him the nod there. So that's my reasoning behind that.
Okay, first of all, I think this is a trick question. Because they just shoot the ball more nowadays, man. You know what I'm saying? If you shoot the ball, with more volume of shots happening, then of course we have more. I guess there are more misses that can happen also. So percentage is still, a real thing. But man, when you talk about these old shooters, the Reggie Millers, the Larry Birds, they don't have the resume of a lot of shots being taken. I don't know if we give Larry Bird or Reggie Miller these 10 shots a game that we give to Steph every game and see if he can make 3 of them sometimes. I don't know if Larry Bird is going to hit just 3 of them sometimes or all 10. I don't see him missing all 10 like Steph did the other night. Again, this ain't about Larry Bird. The point is, I had the jab, bro. I'm just saying what I see, though. Because my man, to me, is dead on right. Klay Thompson is a better shooter than Steph Curry. To me, I picked him to beat Steph Curry, that three-point shootout that one year, man. In my mind, Klay Thompson just got what it takes. He has that inner fortitude that I was talking about Boston don't have. He has that. You know what I'm saying? To the point where he want to beat his daggone teammate and something to show how good he is. And he is that good. I think Klay Thompson is one of the best shooters in NBA history. I definitely think he's better than Reggie Miller. I don't even think it's close. Reggie Miller does not have all those people. I've never seen Reggie shoot 10 threes in the game. And not even just that. Reggie is kind of like, you look at his average, he was a man on that team, and he was averaging less points than Klay Thompson. And Klay Thompson is like a second fiddle. They averaging around the same amount of points.
8.5 accolades for a career 18.2 for Reggie.
and career shot attempts. Because shot attempts, Klay should be down further than Reggie.
I just want to interject real quick on that. I don't feel like you can really use statistics to really compare, because like you said, they shoot way more nowadays. If Reggie Miller had the attempts that Klay gets, it might be a different story. But for me, I can't even really consider stats in this because I did a little bit shooting percentages, but like you said, it's just the stats. You can't really use it.
Yeah, we can't use the stats. So when you go off the eye test, what we are seeing. It's not a stat, but it kind of is because we just seeing guys shoot more. You know what I'm saying? So that actually does play into, you know what I'm saying?
What's up, fam? What's going on?
Yeah, man, when you see guys shoot more, I just seen Klay make more shots than I seen Reggie Miller make shots. If that make any sense. So if I throw the stats out the window, my eye test still tell me the same thing. That stat-wise, he's shooting more. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard for me to judge the old school to the new school when it comes to just shots. If we going off just pure shot, I'm still taking Klay. Yeah, that ball seems like it's going in every time he shoots. I don't care where he is.
Look like it.
You know what I'm saying? He made Reggie seem like a mere mortal. And I hate to say that because I love Reg, but Reg ain't on this level. I seen Reg miss a lot of shots.
Who's a better coach, man, Reggie or Cheryl?
Oh wow, Cheryl gonna tell you. Reggie gonna tell you Cheryl.
Cheryl, yeah, right. He was dropping. She was dropping them off today. Yeah, man, go collect us.
So what we got? We got 3-0 so far, Klay.
I took Reggie.
Oh, you took Reg?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I think like I said, he's better moving shot-wise. He's better clutch. But Klay, like I said, you can't underestimate his standing shots.
Would you say that?
They still win, so I can't trip.
Right. It's tough.
It's a play. It's an emotional play. Run off the screen. That's what they run the same plays they ran with Rick Moss over with Detroit. Run off the screen. Run off the screen. Right. Rick Hamilton was one of the best shooters off the screen, but he had to get that screen. He wasn't going to create nothing. But as soon as he ran and slipped off that screen, he was wide open.
He was basically mid-range, so he wasn't a three-point.
He was, but I mean, it circles from off that screen. He take the step in, come back to the screen, step in, come in. You know, he's juggling the defender a little bit. So it goes back and forth with it. But that's kind of the idea of what they do. And then when you got Curry on the flip too, they run it like that. It's hard. That's hard. And then we got Draymond Green out here setting roadblock screens. I seen him push 3 dudes out the way.
I seen that. Somebody that would be illegal. I seen this dude turn around. I seen him do this turn around, and he just repositioned himself as he passed getting somebody else's way. Like, you know what, dude? I don't know how many times you can keep turning and repositioning after you pass the ball to somebody. This seems a little bit illegal.
That shit went from looking like a finals to a cage match at times. I thought somebody was on tag in Triple H at one time, man, because they was in there dropping elbow drops and shit on people. I mean, it was bad, bro. There were some calls in there that, like I said, I put it on the refs, man. They put a lot of pressure on the refs this year. It's one of the only finals I've ever seen where there's been so much pressure on the refs to make a call. Like between fussing back and forth, hard screens, everything.
Draymond Green and Marcus Smart, man. Somebody gonna be on the floor every play. So the referee gonna have to. They gotta really be watching.
Loved it. But that, like I said, that puts a lot of pressure on them. And when you put that pressure on them, shit will tend to swing your way. I put it like that.
Who you got, Omar?
Actually, I took Klay for numerous reasons. One reason why I took Klay, well, it was kind of hard to take Klay, is because he's never been a number one, whereas Reggie has been a number one for over a decade. But on the flip side, it's been plenty of times as to where Klay has stepped up as the number one. So that was kind of hard for me because Game 6 Klay. And so that was kind of hard for me, but I also had to take into accountability that Reggie has almost 1,000 more threes than Klay. If we're talking, 3-pointers made. He has almost 1,000 more threes than Klay. So that's another thing. And also, I will have to say, Reggie had to work a lot harder to get his shot as opposed to Klay. Klay's had the benefit of playing with Steph. He's had the benefit of playing with KD, whereas to where you don't necessarily forget about Klay Thompson, but you pick your poison. If you're gonna, who would you rather get off, KD, Steph, or Klay? Most teams are gonna pick, okay, we're just gonna let Klay do his thing. So from that aspect, it was kind of hard. But I think what really changed it for me was Klay, was the fact that he has stepped up in big moments. The 2 game sixes he had prior, he dropped 30. His infamous game 6, he dropped 41 against OKC. But you can't talk about Reggie without talking about the choke and the 8 seconds, and then and definitely the push off on Mike. We going definitely to push off on Mike.
Going around.
But you're right, that's that. Everybody was doing that. That was what you did back then.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it looked good. I don't know.
Absolutely.
That's how you win games right there.
He never complained about that during that Jazz series, though. I don't know what
People forget when Kobe pushed, got his 60th point push through all his throat. Gordon Hayward.
What was the last game?
The Great was gonna push people.
So the Lakers had a final game, and I forget who they put.
The Jazz, he pushed Gordon Hayward on his neck.
It was Kobe Bryant's farewell tour. He was doing the tour. It was his last season. Remember? Yeah. So we fast forward through that whole season. We go to the very last game. It was Lakers versus Jazz. Man, when Shaq made that bet with Kobe, talking about he wouldn't drop like 40, and then Buddy put up like 60, and they was looking at him. There was the last minute and a half. Bro, they let Kobe get away with the most blatant push that I had ever seen a player get off. A 2-hand push, extended from the elbows into his chest, extended all the way out. Clear dude, 3 feet, then ran from the ball and shot an open shot 12 feet from Buddy after he pushed him. He pushed him all the way over there, gave up, and then shot it not once, but twice. These were massive push-offs. I'm talking about nothing on Jordan, nothing on Reggie. I'm talking about 2 hands, pushed all the way off, like looked at the ref. Ref was like, it's your world, Kobe, and let him hit that shot. Granted, he made that shot. Man, that was rough. That was a rough view.
That looked fun. But yeah, I think for me, it also boiled down to the fact that Reggie could not get his own shot. I shouldn't say he couldn't, but he struggled to get his own shot. A lot of Reggie's points were predicated off coming off the screen. In my opinion, it's him and Steph Curry. I don't think any other players move better without the ball in NBA history outside of those 2 guys.
You don't think, like you said, Klay don't really create his own too much either though, right?
But I've looked at video of Klay. You can go on YouTube and it's an 8-minute video of Klay working strictly in the post.
Oh, I'm sure. But there's also, you got 8. He had a whole game where he didn't take but a dribble.
Absolutely. But the fact is, I know he can work the post.
Right.
I've seen Klay work the mid-range. Reggie was pretty much a 3-point guy, come off the screen. I mean, he would work the mid-range a little bit, but it was pretty much, he wouldn't drive. I remember a playoff game where Reggie Miller got a dunk and everybody was going crazy because he didn't know. We didn't know he could drive. He never drove to the rack. So I think for me, as good of a shooter as he was and the accolades he does have, and having almost over 1,000 more 3-pointers made, a lot of it has to do for me of the fact that Klay can shoot, and he can shoot in a multitude of ways, where I feel like Reggie was really limited in the way that he could score. I'm not a big Reggie Miller fan though, personally. Of course, being from Chicago, I've always felt like he was overrated. When you actually look at his numbers, he was very, very overrated. He was good, but I would even have a hard time. I guess I will put him in the Hall of Fame, but I would personally have a hard time putting Reggie in the Hall of Fame.
You said Reggie got 1,000 more threes.
Almost 1,000 more threes. Yeah, he has almost. Yeah, he has almost 1,000 more threes.
Out of Reggie Miller's career, take 2 years. He ain't making 1,000. We took literally.
Taking 2 years out of Klay's career with the injury he had, and think about how many shots he put up. You put up almost 1,000 threes threes in a year. You put up that almost. Now, you get that 2 years, even at the minimum of 600, that's still 12.
That's what I'm thinking, though.
So that's really what that gap, that 2 year gap, take. Unlimited. Unlimited. It depends if it was like a year like this. A year like this is a bad example because he was in and out rotation. He couldn't, he wasn't 100% healthy. But give Klay a good year, I'm telling you, he's putting up maybe 800 to 1,000 threes. So you give him them 2 years back, he's sitting at the same accolades Reggie's potentially looking at. But the injuries really peeled him back. That's why this championship was so big to me for Klay, because it was a bounce back year. He had to really fight to get back in that condition of being a champion, So that's why I give it to Klay. I really give it to Klay. Because the one thing that we haven't mentioned though, even coming back from shooting, man, Reggie Miller never really had no devastating injuries. He was mainly healthy his whole career.
People forget in that finals, when they did go to the finals, we'll talk about the choke game and Reggie Miller and this and that, to go to the finals that year, he didn't step up in the finals. It was actually Jalen Rose who actually jumped in the finals. I think Reggie averages 25, but he had averaged that throughout the playoffs anyway. So I felt like on the biggest stage, as much as people talk, oh, what the hell? What the hell? Y'all saw that? Yeah, y'all saw that. Get away from me, Satan. Get behind me. Y'all saw that damn thing trying to fly out my nose? Damn. Anyway, yeah, man. So I think what we gonna say then, man? We got Klay and 2-2.
Take Reggie.
I know you got Reg, Jay. You taking Reg? Almost 1,000, not 1,000 total, but he has almost 1,000 more threes.
If you had the green light, you did.
I mean, he does. So that's what we going with 2-2 then, fellas? 2-2, 2 for Reg, 2 for Klay. 2-2? All right, 2-2. Let us know how y'all feel out there, man. Who y'all feel like is better? Who's the better shooter, Reggie Miller or Klay Thompson, man? Look like we for the first time, I think we got a split. I don't think we ever had a split before, man. 2-2, man. So, yeah, Reggie versus Klay, man. That was fun. Y'all want to move right into segment 3? Y'all sure? All right, it's a big one, y'all. This might, I don't know how this one gonna end, man. Might get some fisticuffs out here. Old school versus new school. You already know I love to do that segment. And this is the last time we will not talk about this shit ever again until I'm sure LeBron retires. But who is better? You already know what I'm finna say. Michael Jeffrey, Black Jesus, Black Cat, Air Jordan versus King Lee, L-E-E, Bron James. Who is the better player? This is a real question, B.I. This is a real question. I already think I know how you're gonna answer, but we want to kick it off. You want to kick it off, Jay, or
I want y'all to kick it off. You already know what y'all gonna say.
Ooh.
You already know what y'all.
I'm just gonna kick it off because there's gonna be no surprises. I ain't gonna wait to the end and say the obvious. It's Michael Jeffrey. It's definitely Michael Jeffrey Jordan. It's the Michael Jeffrey Jordan, Mr. Born in New York, Mr. Raised in North Carolina. It's Mr. Michael Black Cat Jeffrey Jordan. I don't understand any other advanced stat or anything that we looking at that I can look at LeBron. I'm gonna break it down to you like this, man. I say this all the time. At the end of a game, if you need a bucket, do you get a ball to your guy and say, hey, go make the right play and pass the ball to
Dennis Scott or Byron Scott or any one of these guys. Now, if that guy is wide open, of course you make the right play and you pass the ball. But if it's a one-on-one situation, if it's one-on-one, if your guy, I love it. You're going to say something. And I need to speak up for the old heads who still in belief that, the same belief system I got. I'm gonna have to go ahead and speak up for those guys. If at the end of the game, do you hand the ball to somebody and say, go get me a bucket, or hand the ball to them and say, pass the ball to the 5th or 6th best player on the team and hope that they hit the shot to win you a championship? Mike did that with Steve Kerr. I know everybody gonna say that. I guess everybody gonna say that. I ain't see Paxson hit no game win. I seen him hit a lot against the Lakers in the 91. 91. 91.
Yep. They won the game because of Yep.
Now, they were already blowing them out. If you go back and you look at that, they were already starting to win. It wasn't a game-winning shot for John Paxson.
It was actually the shot that put him over. It was like the dagger. Actually, it wasn't.
We need to go back and look at those numbers. John Paxson, I'll give you that credit, though, because John was clutch down the stretch, but it wasn't a one-shot thing. He actually hit about 6 shots and on the same spot on the floor. John Paxson lit him up. But that also says a lot about how you have to stop Mike. You don't see a lot of double teams coming on LeBron James at the end to stop him from getting to the basket because everybody know he ain't going to the basket. Everybody know he about to either shoot a jump shot and bail him out or pass the ball to somebody. Now, I'm not saying LeBron never finished the game going to the rack, but that's just not his MO. I believe he's afraid of the foul line. I believe, and we've seen it. I've never seen a superstar shooting 68% before from the free throw line a day in my life. It makes no sense. This guy is utterly afraid. Tim Duncan is not the primary ball handler. He's set up to make plays for everybody. I know I'm about to work for all the fellas immediately. That's why I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and go right after me. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna get, I gotta get y'all revved up, ready to go, right? Yeah, so at any point in time, I just never seen that amount of respect given to a player who's constantly giving the ball to somebody else and teaming up with somebody else. And then somehow we give him all the credit. We got to denigrate him just as much as we give him flowers. I hate to say it because I love LeBron James, but when we start nitpicking, that's all it is. When we say who's the best of and stuff like that, we nitpicking this or that, which makes this person better or more effective in the game. Now, if I got a guy who's scared to go to the free throw line late in the game, why they ain't hacking the shot LeBron James? They can hack the shot. But ain't nobody doing that. You know what I'm saying? Now you tell me why. I ain't gonna get off into all the reasons. But at the same point in time, how embarrassing would that be for the league if y'all superstar is missing these late game free throws all the daggone time? Yeah, man, go ahead and get up all the D-Wade, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, Anthony Davis, every person that he's played with has made major contributions as also the co-star. Not just John Paxson hit this shot because that's what he do, he shoot three, he's standing right there, he's double team on Mike. That's different. I'm talking about other guys taking over the game. Kyrie won that finals.
You gotta go tell them where we're going.
He did that.
You gotta go tell them that we're going to go.
That one shot? If we talking about one shot. It's a team game. LeBron James did his part. This guy is averaging triple doubles against those guys that he should. But let us not act like Kyrie Irving didn't hit the shot that put them over. Kyrie Irving didn't hit that shot to win the championship?
Let me ask you, what has Kyrie Irving done since LeBron James?
What
is Chris Bosh done without LeBron James? What has Anthony Davis done without LeBron? The only person LeBron's ever played with that did anything is Dwayne Wade.
What has LeBron James done before D-Wade?
Losing
he didn't win it, but look what he
losing 4 back-to-back finals.
No, I'm not. I'm going last. No, I'm going last. I'm saving mine. I just said
okay.
Chef J over here.
Okay.
Every time you get that hat on, he get to acting different.
You do in life. If you had to do it 6 times to be the winner of it all, 6 times to be the best at it, the 6 times you did it, or you go 10 times and win less than half the time.
Well, first, that's a super misconception because Mike was getting his ass busted all them little playoffs and shit, wasn't even making. He was getting swept. Mike was getting swept early in his year. We always highlight all his winning years because he didn't lose.
We highlight his winning years because he had more winning years than LeBron.
He did, but he had to go.
Way less years.
They did because he went to college and got an NCAA ring, which means value to me more than a lot of shit. But the thing about it is, LeBron has a great statue right now as far as his accolades, and he really does. The fact that he's probably one of the only guys I know to make the 13 finals. What is like 13 or 12 finals or something? He's 10, something like that. That's amazing. I can't name too many other people who has actually done that accolade. You know what I'm saying? What he's done on the court is amazing. Whether we always got to go through this debate of who's the best, LeBron has done things on that court that nobody's going to reciprocate in a very long time. I'm just saying. No. We just talking about what he has done as far as accolades, as far as taking teams that would have never seen the finals to the finals. I mean, let's not forget that Cleveland team that LeBron consecutively kept taking before he went to Miami. That team he kept taking to the finals, bruh. I don't even know if Mike could have took that team there. I don't even know if Mike could have done it. But you know why? Mike played a different type of game than LeBron did. LeBron, he plays a very heavy ISO game to me in his earlier year. Now he's getting to where it's like he's doing what Mike did. If I'm getting double team and triple team, this somebody got to be open. I got to defer. It's just not the right play if you don't make it. You know?
This game is about
but
buckets and stop.
it is. And when it comes down to, LeBron has been very successful no matter what we say about him at his whole career. Let's be honest, that's a very successful career. Everybody always look at it like it's like a bad career that he's having because they always have to compare it to Mike. He has had a very successful career, and a lot of people don't give him that credit. But with everything being said, I'm still going Mike. Mike was a better team leader. I feel like LeBron sometimes, he suffers from, he doesn't know how to lead a team sometimes. He can put points on there, but he can't tell you where to go. He can know, give me the ball and let me go, or stand right there and I can pass to you, but he doesn't really develop the team. You know, I'm yet to see LeBron around some young cats that grow underneath him, where I feel like I watched a lot of people grow underneath Mike, like B.J. Armstrong. If B.J. Armstrong go anywhere else, he'll never see a championship ever in his life. Ever. Luke Longley. They flourished under this man. Horace Grant, even though Horace was good already, they flourished under Mike. You know, I don't really see too many people flourish under LeBron. I see a lot of people, I see him linking up. The only person that I still see LeBron really cool with out of all the teams he's been with is D-Wade. Everybody else really don't. Kyrie and them, they don't get along. Him and AD are kind of rocky, you know. Him and Westbrook, there's an obvious disconnect there. You know, I'd never really seen that type of disconnect with Mike and his team compared to LeBron and his team. You can visibly see a disconnect. And that, if you're the team leader, if you're the man on the team, it's your job to kind of do that. Yeah, it's on the coach, but it's your job because you're the leader. Everybody's going to look to you for leadership. Mike was able to carry his team with the leadership. LeBron kind of struggles a little bit, although his leadership did show at a young age. But I don't think he wants to be that leader no more. Mike always wanted to be the leader. He didn't want nobody else. He didn't see him going out recruiting Clyde Drexler or Elijah Wan or Barkley or them to get him. He did with what he had. He didn't ask for nobody else, and he put his best foot forward, and he was successful. He's a champion. So I'm always have to go with Mike. But like I said, I don't want none of that to take away from LeBron's legacy, because he does have a legacy. Granted, he doesn't have that high winning legacy that we all wanted to see from the King, but it is a legacy yet still, and people always exclude that LeBron talk, you know?
Wow. Who did I go with? Y'all can see, man. Y'all can see I've got almost 3 pages of LeBron. I didn't, that's my fault. I didn't do a little rundown. You might want to change your answer, B.I., but a little rundown of Michael and LeBron. All-Star games, LeBron has made 18, MJ has made 14. MVPs, 5 for Mike, 4 for LeBron. All NBA teams, 18 for LeBron, 11 for MJ. He's a bum. Defensive teams, 6 for Michael, 9 for MJ. Defensive Player of the Year, 0 for LeBron. Should have won it over Marc Gasol. Defensive Player of the Year, Mike got one of those. Rookie of the Year, 1 apiece. Points per game for their career, 30.1 for Mike, 27 for LeBron. Playoffs, this is what kind of separates, in my opinion. 33.4 for Michael Jordan in the playoffs. LeBron, 28.7. 1 year, MJ shot One year, MJ averaged 43.7 in 1986 in the playoffs. LeBron in 2009 averaged 35.3. You're gonna like this, Jared, because I think I know how you're gonna go. LeBron is the all-time leader in steals, points, and wins when it comes to the playoffs. But he's also the all-time leader in turnovers when it comes to the playoffs. Oh baby, who did I go with? This is epic. I had to go with my dad. I had to go with my dad. Something about those pancakes he used to make and Juanita. Yeah, I had to go with my dad. Good googly moogly. Yes, sir. Y'all will be saying good googly moogly too. Anyway, good thing the camera this way. Anyway, MJ's the man. But LeBron is putting up some great numbers, man, at 37. 30 points, 8.2 rebounds, 6.2 assists. LeBron, no one has played this well as far as their career, late in their career as LeBron James has. What he is doing is phenomenal. I think what a lot of people don't talk about, B.I. touched on it a little bit, is for me, when it comes to LeBron, he's 37 now. Let's say he plays until he's 40. He will probably be the first person to be a part of the 40,000 point club. If that happens, that would put him almost 8,000 more points than Michael Jordan if that happens. Funny thing is, B.I. touched on it, he touched on it so eloquently, is that LeBron, for him to have almost 8,000 more points, let's say he gets to 40, play to 40, play with Bronny and this and that. The funny thing is, as B.I. touched on, is he's not really a scorer. For him to have almost 8,000 more points over the greatest scorer ever, for him not to be a scorer, which is why at the end of the games, I'm not terribly surprised that he passed the ball. Everyone is, he should have. That's never been LeBron's game. If you go to high school, he's always been a facilitator that can score.
He should have been passing the ball to me.
Huh?
He should have been passing the ball to me.
Oh.
All them little scrubs too.
That's neither here nor there. I won't call you guys scrubs. If you guys come on old heads, when you guys come on old heads, we won't call you scrubs. Not at all.
It's the same area y'all was scrubs, bro. Straight up. LeBron was the only dude on that team.
You know B.I. slogan. Trade yourself.
Trade yourself.
Trade yourself.
LeBron traded himself to a real team. Came off from Cleveland and then traded himself to the Heat, man. Look, man, you gotta trade yourself, man. If you stay where you at, you're gonna lose most likely. Look, man. Look, they're high schoolers. I don't want to pick on them.
I have a feeling Jay and B.I. gonna fight. If I cut the live off, then that ain't gonna happen because I'm gonna keep it live so we can go viral. Anyway, so for me that's huge, man. For LeBron to have that many more points and not being a scorer, but no, thank you. No, we're good. Thank you, man. No, you good. You come on in. You like basketball? You like basketball? You like basketball? Now you stepped in. You gotta say something to the people. Who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
Who's Michael Jordan?
What? I said, Andy gotta go.
All right, yeah.
I'm gonna say LeBron because he's been in a couple movies too. Like, multi-talented.
Okay, we got LeBron. We got a LeBron. Okay, we got a LeBron. Nothing wrong with that.
Off the Space Jam 2 act.
Off the space.
What was the one movie he was in hits?
I don't know.
Yeah, man. Shout out to his acting career, man.
Yeah, that's non-existent. But anyway, We out here having a good time, man, at Juneteenth, man. Old heads. I can't even finish my thought. That was unexpected. I didn't want to. Yeah, but yeah, I think I would. One thing I think people don't talk about is people say LeBron is the greatest all-around player ever. I wanted to break down a little something. Michael Jordan, a lot of people don't know, he played point guard for 24 games. Averaged a triple-double, but not just any triple-double. Between those 24 games, he averaged 30.4 points, 9.2 rebounds, 10.7 assists, and 2.4 steals, playing point guard. And in my opinion, the triple-doubles back then were a lot harder because, for one, it was a big man's game. So rebounding, I feel like today you get a lot of rebounds because you're shooting a lot of threes. So there are a lot of long rebounds, so which is why it's easier for guys like Westbrook and your guy DeJounte Murray to get rebounds because there's so many threes being shot. MJ playing back then, he had to battle Hakeem. He had to battle Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning every night just to get a rebound. LeBron is regarded as the best all-around player, but I think, in my opinion, I would have to say Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is the only player in the history of NBA who was the best offensive player and the best defensive player at the same damn time. Hey man, you got that Sox hat on, man. Who you think better, bro? LeBron or MJ, man? Tell the people who you think better. You're live, bro. You live,
Man, I got MJ all day, man.
Okay, you can stay. You don't chair. You can stay.
I got MJ all day, man. That's the GOAT, man. 2 3-peats, and he went and played baseball. Can't beat that.
We old heads, bro.
Always
You ain't got no warrants, do you? If you ain't got no warrant, you can come on live, cuz. We got, old heads. Check us out, man. Basketball pod. Who you think better, sir? You follow basketball? Michael Jordan or LeBron James? Who you take? Michael? We got Mike. What's your name, sir? I'm from Chicago. Oh, come say hi to the people, man. Come on, come say hi to the people. He got a warrant. He don't want to be on camera. He got a warrant. He don't want to be on camera. It's all right. It's all right. It's all good. Yes, sir.
Better go Phil McElroy Tiger.
Oh, absolutely, Phil. But anyway, yeah, I think for me, man, it's definitely Jordan. But like I said, I don't think anyone's ever been the greatest offensive player, defensive player at the same time as the way MJ has. I think just when you talk about instilling fear into other players, I don't think LeBron he's definitely instilled fear. But when you hear players talk about MJ, it's different. It's different where guys say the night before they're going to bed early. They're eating right. They make sure they're getting a proper rest because they know the next day they got to guard Mike.
I always say this game is about getting stops and getting a bucket. Mike was the defensive player of the year and the scoring champion in the same year.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's like Marcus Smart outscoring everybody this year. That's just
true.
Don't happen.
That's true.
It probably will never happen again.
That's true.
With that being said, I don't know how you think. If I was a manufacturer player, I would want a player to go out and get a bucket whenever he can and stop damn near anybody one-on-one, not a team concept, not jumping the passing lane. I'm talking about lock you up off the dribble. I want that guy. I want a guy that's going to give me a stop and give me a bucket.
Like I said, people talk about Wilt Chamberlain being a great offensive player, but even as great as offensive player was, he was a great defensive player, but nobody would say he was better than Bill Russell. So even that's what I mean as far as being the best offensive and defensive player at the same time. The 6 for 6 for me is huge. 6 Finals MVPs. I don't think it's really anything LeBron could do. Now, don't get me wrong. LeBron numbers are going to be unthinkable, for the years that he's played. And in my opinion, LeBron's been the best player of the past decade. I have him in my top. Spurs want to keep messing with me. I got him in my top 5 all time. But like I said, it was was really tough, man, because when you think about LeBron, like I say, you think about MJ and the scoring and this and that, and LeBron has scored more points. And when you think about it, LeBron clutch numbers are statistically better than MJ numbers. And MJ is known as being a clutch guy. So I think it's a lot tougher than what us old heads would like to admit. I think a lot of people don't understand is that.
How you doing, brother?
I think a lot of people don't understand is that we're so tough on LeBron because we feel like he can be a threat. A lot of old heads won't admit that, but they're so tough on LeBron and hate because they feel like he can be a threat to MJ's legacy. But for me, I think it's kind of hands down the fact that MJ was dominant on both ends, and I think the scoring titles is so. I mean, I understand LeBron has more points, but that's more longevity. MJ has 9 more scoring titles than LeBron. He's second all time as far as third all. No, he's actually second all time. No, excuse me, guys. This is something I didn't even know, and I'm a huge Jordan fan. He's tied for first as far as making 9 first-team all-defensive teams. So I think for me, I would have to go, if we're taking prime versus prime, I'm going to take Michael Jordan, but it's not a landslide. I will say that. LeBron is a dog. I have him in my top 5.
Michael Jordan, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he absolutely.
Kobe legacy more than
I'm about to say, yeah, it's those you gotta get to. Like Curry chasing pop first.
I think you gotta go in like order of respect. You know, you can't just come straight at Mike. You know, given what he's done, I feel like LeBron's giving Kobe's legacy a good run for his money right now, considering he's still playing. But one note I like to also put on but the one thing about LeBron, everybody forget though, don't forget when he played center. Because it was one time this year where Anthony Davis when he played center, he was damn near averaging a double-double. He was down there grabbing boards. They physically, when he goes down low, he's not.
You know what was happening. They were playing against smaller centers.
They were.
They wouldn't give him the ball.
And it was working. But it was working, though. It is not something, because LeBron doesn't like that physicality of down low. That's why he doesn't like to go down there like that. That's why you never see a 6'8" frame like him really work his back down there and put his back to the ball, because he strays away from physicality. Where I feel like Mike, he engages it. Mike probably had some of the most vicious dunks over some of the best blockers I've ever seen in my life. Not saying LeBron hasn't neither. But I feel like LeBron kind of has to sit back and get a full head of steam before he attacks that basket, where Mike could take off effortlessly.
Yeah, one dribble. And spin off the guy guarding one dribble, or no dribble, go up right on your center.
Sometimes, we ain't just literally just talking about just the players themselves. It's their skill set. I think the fact that Mike going through that NCAA and win that championship like that broadened his skill set to where he was able to access a bunch of moves a lot easier, where LeBron kind of missed all that. He went straight from high school in there. He's never really had like a very stern coach to make him run them. He's always kind of ran his own thing. So I feel Mike and Kobe and all them, they were very good at working that triangle system, but that was something that the coach put in their play. I don't really see LeBron and them running too much of an offense and run. These are all the type of skill sets. He gets his buckets harder. Mike has a system that they work through, and he was able to maneuver his team to get that. Where I feel like LeBron and them, they don't really run that many plays. It just seems like you give it to LeBron and kind of let him dictate. That's not a bad thing. That's not like a bad thing, but it's not sustainable for champions. You know what I'm saying? You can get a couple, as is proven, but it's just not a sustainable thing. I like the fact that LeBron can cover all parts of the floor, but sometimes you just need LeBron to go put his head down and get a bucket, and that's where we've came down. He defers sometimes, so it's kind of hard. A lot of people really look at him like a defer, but like you said, that's part of his game. When people are double teaming you and stuff, it's the right play to make. And he wants to make it like a lot of people. They really take LeBron's IQ for being real low or something, and dog has amazing IQ. if you can watch some of his passes cross court, how he sees people, his vision, amazing.
Yeah, one of the best niggas in history. LeBron's IQ is ridiculous off the chart.
I think it's gonna be a first time in Riverside Park. You finna see two light-skinned niggas fight because Jared is over here seething right now. I have not seen this man this quiet and I don't know how long. This is. I think.
This dude wants out of battle.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna hand it over to Jared. We're gonna let him get this off his chest, man. But I don't know who he gonna pick, but I think I do know who he gonna pick.
I honestly, real y'all, this is my least favorite debate of all time. I think it's you know, people gonna debate it. People gonna debate it, but I think people end up slighting one or the other when it comes down to the debate, and that's just what I'm not a fan of. You know, but I will start off by saying this. If you look at, you know, Jordan by far has the better legacy. He by far has the better legacy as far as 6 rings, no finals losses, 6 finals MVPs, all the defensive players, and scoring titles, all that. You know, definitely has the better legacy. Don't get me wrong. LeBron James, you know, if you had to build a player from scratch, then, you know, you would build a player like LeBron, 6'8", you know, built as he is and all that, you know. Then he's got all the statistics and everything to back up his career. But ultimately, if I had to pick one,
Packers gonna win 5 games next year.
if I had to pick one, I'm gonna take Jordan, man. I'm gonna take Jordan.
I ain't gonna lie, that took me off guard right there, man. That shit took me off guard. I could have swore you was going LeBron, man. I could have swore. He went Mike, man. He went Mike, man. Young brothers, come on, man. We live, man. Who y'all got, man? Let me hear y'all voice one time, man. Come on, hit the mic, man. We can't.
Even the young boy,
Hey, what he said? Let America hear you. Let America. Michael Jordan.
Why you got Mike?
That's the all time, man. Undebatable. I hear you.
Hell no, he ain't better than Pippen.
He said he got
But yeah, hey, once again, man, there's no slight to LeBron's legacy, man. He's probably had one of the better legacies of a lot of people, and I think sometimes it just gets discredited sometimes, you know. So, you know, big shout to LeBron, you know what I'm saying?
So everybody going.
Damn, this might be a first too, man. All 4 MJ? All 4?
I got LeBron in.
All right, man. Billy went LeBron. He went LeBron on us.
I can't do that. I just hate it when everybody agrees.
I hear you, but man, this is tough though, man. This is like I said, it's a 101. You already know.
Right.
This could actually change.
Sweet lady.
That's a good question. Can it change? That's actually
Yeah. Let me ask y'all. What would change your mind, Jared, for it to be LeBron? What would he have to do?
2 more rings. 3 more rings. 3. If he got 3 rings with the MVP 3 times, I can legitimately say he might be better than Michael Jordan. I mean, I can say that with a clean conscience. I need 2 more rings and a defensive title out of him.
2 rings and a defensive leader title out of him. If he can do that, then we can put a solid fight in for him. Even then, I might even have to go in there and fight for him, man. That's tough. Hey, I'm telling you.
So you say 2 more rings
And a defensive scoring.
and a defensive scoring. You said
3 rings.
3 rings
3 rings and these 2 MVPs in the finals.
and 2 MVPs in the finals. That'll change your mind.
Yeah. Because if he get 2 more rings, they're going to give him 6, and he lost a bunch of times in the finals. But if he wins, I guarantee he'll be the MVP. Ain't nobody going to outshine him. He's getting older though, so I don't know.
Let me ask you this, Jared. What if LeBron come up with a cure for COVID? Would you?
Greatest player off the court.
So I thought somebody would go LeBron. Ain't nobody going LeBron, huh?
He already the best player off the court. LeBron James. I've never seen the best player off the court.
You think so? I heard Mike's kind of a jerk.
I mean, LeBron's a nice guy, but then all the money he's made.
Is LeBron the best player right now? Is he the best player right now?
No.
best player in the league right now?
Steph.
Steph? All right, I can take that.
Steph is the best player in the league right now.
Best
I was.
player in the league right now.
I should have taken Giannis. Who you taking, fam? Who better? Who you taking? LeBron or MJ?
MJ.
MJ?
All day. Why MJ?
Why MJ?
I love MJ. I ain't watching him coming up, but I seen a lot of him.
I don't know.
I don't like that though. This is time to shine right now. But like back then, yeah.
Okay. We got another one for MJ, man. Me personally, I'm personally taking Rudy Gobert over Mike. That's just me. I like I'm French niggas, bro. Something about the French. I'm taking Rudy Gobert over MJ.
One more comment like this. I'm walking along.
No. Shall I say Luke Longley? Luke Longley over MJ? No. Oh my goodness.
He's like, who was that, man?
Luke Longley?
Man, bringing up all these old names.
Yeah, you too, man. Appreciate it. All right, man. I think that's 4-0. We all went with Mike.
Damn near 8.
Damn near 8 when the people that came through. You should have saw the way Buddy looked at me when I said such and such. But yeah, man, that was pretty dope, man. 4-0 for Mike. I thought somebody would go LeBron. That didn't happen today, but who knows, man? Maybe 3-4 years down the line, you know, who knows, man? I think we're gonna roll right into segment 4. We will never talk about that shit again. Never talk about LeBron and Michael Jordan. I think that's pretty dead, man. I think everybody kind of know MJ's the GOAT. Now we might do who's better, LeBron or Magic. I would personally take LeBron over Kobe. I don't think it's even close. But that's another thing. That's another segment or another show. But segment 4, we're gonna go right into it, man. Who's a better clutch shooter? Reggie Miller versus Larry Legend Bird. Not best shooter, better clutch shooter. Who's the better clutch shooter? Reggie Miller or Larry Bird? Who would you say? Who want to start this one off? You gonna start it off?
I said earlier, I still believe, Reggie's one of the better clutch shooters, but man, we talking about Larry Legend. This man came into a 3-point contest and said, who's runner up? Who's getting second? Because I already got first. This man's cold. But Reggie had more clutch moments, I think. I think when I was able to watch it, because I went back and watched a bunch of old Celtic games and stuff to actually see what Kevin McHale and, Big O and Larry was talking about at that time. And man, some of they pick and rolls was immaculate. But I never really seen Larry going for too many clutch shots. Larry's done some stuff that, nowadays we might not know about. Like when they cut all the air conditioning out in the Boston Stadium. The pipes were sweating, everybody was in there sweating. They talking about it was hazy in there, the cameras were sweating up. It was like 98 degrees inside the stadium. Everybody was a heat adjustment. All of a sudden Larry come out with a brand new revive and come out, bust like 8 threes. Wasn't clutch though, just shooting in their eye. I think when it came down to Reggie, I feel like Reggie forced a lot of shots sometimes. He couldn't really create, but he got up, but the shots were clutch. Reggie could get up there. I take nothing away from Larry, but I think when I was able to see a lot of clutch moments, I think Reggie Miller was a better clutch shooter. Still don't take nothing away from Larry, but as you see, when time started changing, that 3-ball started evolving a lot better. And when we look back at the stats, stats really don't do Larry justice as far as how dominant he was on the court as far as shooting. Because Larry could tell you, I'm going left, I'm gonna come back right, I'm gonna spin, I'm gonna shoot. He just like Mike would do it. But I think in the era where the 3-ball was coming more prominent, Reggie was shooting that thing, man. Reggie was shooting. It's the reason why he's up high on that 3-point shooting list. It is just his shot, it was his clutchness too. I didn't see Larry do a lot of the shooting. Larry did a lot of other things, and his IQ was at a whole nother level of ball. Like that's one thing a lot of old school players had more. Sometimes it wasn't necessarily the physical ability, it was the IQ of the game. But with the question being asked, I think I'm going with Reggie Miller as the better clutch shooter out of that. I take none away. This was a tough one because Larry is an immaculate three person, but the stats just don't fit it right. You know, you literally have to go back and watch some old Celtic games to actually get a good Larry Bird feel. If you don't, stats is not going to do any justification for you. Right. And that's not big. And none of them 2 threes out them games was like for the game. It's not a clutch shot, you know. So yeah, I think I'm going with Reggie on this. Better clutch.
Yeah, I think there's only one answer for this question. I think it's Larry Legend. I've heard way too many stories, and I guess I'm about to make myself really this old. When Reggie started shooting that thing like that, Larry was on the back end. Larry had a short career. Came in at 79. By 89, this dude was toast. His back was done. You know what I'm saying? So, like, his career, if we take his prime, his ability at his prime, those stories are crazy, man. When you hear the scariest dudes in the league, like you said the other day, you talk about coming out of the timeout. He said he was going to come off this pick, shoot the ball right there in front of my face for game, and he did it. And then when you hear other people saying the same thing, it's almost like a daggone rape case for them old dudes. What's the name of them? Bill Cosby. When one chick said, I'm not so sure. When everybody said, it's like, bro, this got to be happening. It's real scary when the whole league.
I never really heard any stories like where they were saying Reggie was like, man, I'm going left and coming. He never really told. He just kind of played his game. He kind of where Larry talked shit to that game.
The whole
time. Down, mentally and physically.
Larry will get mad at you if he see another white dude guarding him. That's just the type of dude he is. He grew up playing with the brothers, and that's like a show of disrespect to him. You know what I'm saying? I seen Larry Bird. Remember when he had that Atlanta Hawk team? Everybody on their bench got fined because they was over there rooting for him. Dude, it was a play in that game where he stole an inbounds pass, came down, looked at the three-point line, shot it, and walked off. You say Steph Curry, I'll say Larry Bird. Because Steph Curry never had some other team's bench rooting for him and getting fined. I seen Larry Bird turn around on his shot, looking at the line and walking off on people like he grew up shooting on a basketball goal with no backboard.
But does that make you a better clutch shooter though? I mean, the shooting ability, I'm not debating that like his shooting ability. Yeah, great, but when it comes to a clutch situation, I go off what I seen.
I know a basketball game is different from a three-point shootout, but tell me that's not clutch when you walk into a room with the best shooters in NBA history and you tell them who coming in second.
All the best three-point shooters in the league right there.
That's more than clutch. That's more than clutch, because clutch is actually what he did to him. But to be able to do that before, this is uncomparable.
To me, that's your level of confidence. That's your level of confidence. I'm not saying that Reggie didn't do it. Reggie just didn't do that much talking. He was more doing all that. He wasn't a big talker.
Yeah, he was an antagonizer.
Larry was somebody who was get under your skin for that all game, bust your ass, and make you regret that you came to Boston. I feel like Reggie was younger.
Yeah, Reggie will get on his skin.
It's a different type of mind game Larry played with, though. It's different. It's like, when I talk about how Larry played it, I'm talking about like Mike Magic. They was really talking shit to me when he was doing it. Like, you can't guard me. As a with the ball, they telling people, bro, you can't guard me. I'm going to go left.
I'm going to wait till y'all pick up the double team. I'm going to split the double team. I'm going to score the bucket. Reggie never talked like that. He just did his thing. But I don't think Reggie had the gifted abilities like Larry had. Larry's IQ is something that's very underrated. His mind was amazing as far as what he could do with the ball. And Reggie was just a scorer. You know, Reggie shoot. That's all he did. Just shoot. Where, you know, I feel like, you know, Larry had to do a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to act like Reggie wasn't leader of that team. But I feel like when it comes down to a leader who ran that team better, Larry ran his team better because of what he had. You know, but as far as clutch shooting, no, you still going with Larry? That's fair, Larry.
I think Larry Bird is probably the better. He's more clutch all around, but if I had to just specifically pick a shooter, I'd pick Reggie Miller. I feel like that's what he does. That's why he was in the league for his shot. Not to say that, like I said, I'm confused saying Larry Bird wasn't that guy, but to me, Larry Bird, he was clutch in other areas too. You know, he'll get a steal, flip behind his back, get it to a guy to win a game, type stuff like that. You know, but when it came down to just shooting, I had to go Reggie Miller.
Better clutch shooter. Who is better? I think initially I took Larry Legend, but when I think about it, I don't remember him making any clutch shots, like any clutch moments. As far as like, it's pretty well, we're talking shooting, so clutch shots. I don't remember him having any clutch shots. Now it could be it was a little bit before my time. I think one thing people don't talk about with Reggie Miller is his balance. When he come off those screens, as small as he was, as thin as he was, very few people talk about it was hard to knock him off balance. He was able to hit threes from all type of angles. We've seen him be clutch, not only in New York, but playing against Chicago. A lot of people forget when the Pacers playing those Bulls teams back then, they would take those Bulls teams to the brink. A lot of that had to do with Reggie Miller and his ability to shoot the ball, and his ability to be a threat in the fourth quarter in crunch time. I think I went with Reggie Miller, just off the strength that I don't remember Larry having that many clutch shots. I'm pretty sure he had some, but I don't remember seeing him make any clutch threes or any clutch shots. Like I say, it was always like a rebound or something like that. And I understand where you were coming from as far as the aspect of the three-point contest. But to me, it's a contest. It's not like the same as being like the playoffs. You know, no, nobody's in front of it. I feel like that's easy to go in there and talk shit when you know no one's putting a hand in front of your face. The difference is, I understand Larry Bird would still talk shit if you was putting 10 hands in front of his face, and he's still probably gonna hit it, you know. But for me, it was Reggie and the fact that I've seen him do it so many times. I've seen him be clutch on several occasions, and the fact that he did it without getting his own shot is something that kind of elevates it for me, because Larry Bird would get his own shot, but people forget he played with a Hall of Fame point guard, and Dennis Johnson. People forget Dennis Johnson was a Finals MVP before he came to Boston. So a lot of Larry shots they weren't wide open, but they was similar to Klay Thompson, where he was a catch and shoot guy. So, Larry Bird, yeah. I mean, when we're talking about strictly three-point shooting, it wasn't a lot of what Steph do, or a lot of coming off screens like how Reggie did. It was a lot of catch and shoot. Now, we're talking about the mid-range and perimeter. Bird could definitely get his. He could play down low, he could shoot the mid-range. But if we're just talking about simply just clutch and shooting, I think I'm gonna have to go with Reggie Miller, man, just because I've seen him do it more, and I've seen him do it on one of the largest stages. He didn't do it in the finals, but he did do it in the Eastern Conference Finals.
How many of these clutch moments are we talking about Reggie had? Because we talking about that one game, that one series against the New York Knicks. He had a little run in a minute where he scored out a point. He didn't go ahead and say out there Thomas was going to shoot the ball time. He scored more points at that time. Wasn't it like a minute something second, like they went off like 20 points? That was pretty clutch too, you know. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But those are moments, that's not their career. Right. Larry Bird's reputation is don't let him shoot in the game. I mean, I guess it's like that for Reggie Miller too. But I can't believe y'all think that Reggie Miller inspired as much fear in our hearts of will be defended as Larry Bird did.
I wouldn't even say that. I think I would say that, you know, I feel like in order to say like clutch shots, you got to understand what type of position your team's in. You know, I don't feel like Boston went down too many times where they were just losing, where Larry had to pick them all the way up and hit clutch shots. I feel like the Pacers, they struggled in and out because sometimes, even though they had a high offensive power team, they struggled on defense sometimes. And sometimes going low, they would get bullied down there. So with that being said, they'd have to take a time to make their adjustments, and then Reggie would have to get them back in the game and make clutch shots. I never seen Boston get down like that to where Larry had to come through. It was either Larry was already winning, had a good game, and just had a great game, but they were never down where he had to pick them up. Where I seen Reggie had to pick the Pacers up a lot. You know, like sometimes they'd go on offensive droughts and defensive droughts, and Reggie would have to pick up the pace. So volume shots, that's where I'm coming to like clutch shots. When it came to like picking your team back up and putting them over the edge, that's where I feel. I don't feel like Boston was below that edge too many times where Larry had to do it. They had a great core over there. That team was a good team, you know? So when you have solid people like that, you don't really go down as much. Do you know what I'm saying? Because your team is playing at a high rate. So there is no reason for Larry to have as many as them clutch shots as we talk about because it's not really needed. If your team plays well, you don't need to be, you just got to be solid.
My rebuttal to that is with Golden State is and I thought about that too, and that's a good point. But my rebuttal to that is I thought about that Golden State team and how they blowing so many people out, and they started to sit down for the fourth quarter too. So it's kind of like just a guessing game of who would be more clutch. Would it be Steph or Klay? You know what I'm saying? If they were those moments. So it's really a guessing game would be now with Larry Bird and Reggie. But, you know, it's just my personal opinion of one, you know. I don't have any advanced facts to back up my opinion. But yeah, I just believe my personal opinion is
and the stats, and unfortunately the stats ain't going to be enough to back us up because this is a judgment call.
Yeah, it is. The game has changed so much that it's hard to, you know, put guys side by side for errors. So, you know, with that being said, it is like a judgment call, really, man. And I think Larry I seen him killing Chuck Person. I seen Chuck Person loading the guns and loading them and going on and talking crap to everybody else, he killing them. And then the next game they play Larry Bird, doing these dudes the way they normally do them and getting rid of them.
Larry had
all this is honestly
Larry's balls on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Where Reggie, he kind of wasn't that, like you said, like when people were so much worried about Reggie just don't let him get off. And we're like with Bird, you like, man, we got to worry about Bird, man. He might do anything, mid-range threes.
Because I felt like with Reggie, yeah, he hit a couple of shots, but I feel like what they were mostly afraid of with Reggie was like, okay, don't let him get under your skin. He was more of a Dennis Rodman type of, he had more of a Dennis Rodman type of effect on the game, more or less, than like hitting a clutch basket.
Right.
Yeah, hit a clutch one on you, you know, but at the same time, he was more known for Michael Jordan scraping across his face, he got under Mike's skin, you know.
Every time I remember clutch shots coming from Reggie, he went over, he was looking at Spike Lee like this. And I don't remember any moments where Larry Bird was yeah, but it was clutch. It was the most clutch moment of his career at that time, so it was big.
To me, his most clutch moments was getting John Starks out of his game. And Patrick Ewing coming over there and smacking John Starks in the back of his head. John Starks' mama telling Patrick Ewing, don't ever touch my boy like that again. That's his most clutch moment for me.
What do you think? Man, you know what's all about. All right, man, we're going, hold on. We gotta get the young fellas one time, man. We're going to get it, man. Who better, LeBron or Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan.
Who you got?
Michael Jordan.
Oh, man, the big. So why y'all say Mike, man? Y'all watch him play?
I didn't even know.
Some highlights.
Okay, how about you?
Highlights and just check the stats.
Okay, hey, I can't go wrong with that, man. I can't go wrong. Y'all know who Reggie Miller is?
Yeah.
What is he?
The third most 3-point shooter in all of all time.
Y'all see all these young fellas? Okay. So right now, if you was a bit, who's a better clutch shooter? Y'all know who Larry Bird is?
Yeah.
Who do you think is a better clutch shooter? Larry Bird?
I say Reggie Miller.
Okay, who you got?
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird, hey!
He's about to take my seat. I don't have to go ahead.
Why you say Larry?
Go ahead, sit on down.
Larry's almost a goat.
All right, okay.
No, if it was mid-range, I'd go with Larry. But 3-pointers, I got to go with Reggie.
I can't be mad at these guys, man. That's the best answer all day, man. Y'all did y'all thing, man. Literally, I appreciate those answers, man. Young bloods, man. Yeah, genius, man. Y'all above y'all time, man. You don't even know.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So what do we end up with? Bird? What you got? Bird, B.I.?
I got Bird.
No, that's Dwayne Wayne. Different world. Who you got, Jay? Reggie? Who you got, Hendo?
I'm going. I gotta go Reggie.
Going Reggie? So what? We want 3-1? 3-1? 3-1 Bird? Well, 1 Bird, 3 for Reggie? All right, 1 Bird, 3 for Reggie, man. clutch shooter, man. I think we're gonna go Reggie Miller. We got 3 of us, and then Larry Bird. B.I. He's the one loner taking Mr. Larry Legend. I hate to do that, man. I hate to do that to Larry Legend, but it is what it is.
Best shooter of his time.
Definitely the best shooter of his time. Definitely the best shooter of his time. But if a clutch moment, I want Reggie, and hopefully Larry don't be mad at me. If you mad, come holler at us, Larry. But final segment of the day, man. It's been a good episode. How you doing? It's been a good episode, man. Having a lot of fun out here. Great weather, man. Got some good food out here too. Also, man, guy-girl code, man. If you're in the lacrosse area, Valley View Mall, guy-girl code. Go holler at Steezy, man. Father's Day weekend, go get your dad some nice socks, hat, anything, man. Father's Day weekend, Juneteenth weekend, guy-girl code. Press Break, Lacrosse, Wisconsin. Get your pop some good food, man. Italian beefs. My man B.I. say, what you say, the nachos?
Nachos and cheesy beefs.
Cheesy nachos, cheesy beefs, man. If you out there, check out Press Break, man. Lacrosse, Wisconsin. They got some good foods. Don't have Pops cooking tomorrow. Don't have them on the grill, man. Stop at Press Break, get them something to eat. But I think we're gonna move. Oh, how did I forget? Please, every day, 6 p.m., bump that radio, man. Please download that app, the Bump That Radio app, man. We're trying to bring radio back like how we used to. If you know about, I'm sure it should be, I remember the box. That's how we're trying to bring it. Yeah. Call it in, man. Put it on the glass. Trying to bust. That's what Bump That Radio is, man. We're trying to bring that back, man. We're trying to bring it back. Doing a great job every day, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Bump That Radio. Download that app, man. Bump That Radio. I think we're going to move right into our last and final segment of the day, episode 5. It is name a player who you think was okay growing up, but you think would be a star in today's game. You want to kick it off, Jay? I don't think you kicked it off today.
This one was a tough one for me because I grew up in '91. I don't remember basketball until I was about 2000s. And a lot of dudes that was playing in the league just retired recently. So for that, I'm gonna go ahead and probably say I think if Lamar Odom played in this day and age, he probably would be a star if he could have stayed off the drugs and all that. But we don't know. So.
That's fire. Hold on, no, don't get back to him. Why you say so? Why you say Lamar?
I just said because he's big, gifted, and he just fits in this league. He's 6'8", 6'9" or something. 6'10". He can handle the rock. He can shoot. If he wouldn't have got derailed by the drugs, who knows? But especially in this day and age, things can be a little bit softer. I think he could have had a more profound career.
You think he would be a top 15 player in the league today?
Try again.
He'd be borderline. Maybe borderline. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to say. Yeah, borderline. I don't know about top 15. But today's day and age, maybe he'd be borderline.
Let's put him up there with like guys like Jalen Brown. Yeah. Who you saying?
I got some bad picks, man.
You want to take him?
I chose Rafer Austin, man. I grew up watching a lot of and one, man. I thought Rafe was gonna make it, man. But he was too raw and rugged, man. He had too much and one in him, and it kind of exposed him on the court. He got to doing them crazy dribbles, and coach was like, "Nah, man, sit your goofy ass back down." I was a big Skip to My Lou fan. If y'all ever watched and one, that's his real name, Rafer Austin and shit, man. I just thought when he caught his big break in the league, he was gonna be the one. I thought he was gonna make the one, be like, oh man, well, everybody gonna start looking at these players from these and one mixtapes and stuff, taking them more serious. And I ain't gonna say he had a terrible career, it's just not what I expected. I expected him to be a little bit better, because when you look at his handles, he had some of the nicest handles in the league at his time. I mean, and one style. It's different when you put it on the NBA matter, but he had some nice handles, and I just felt that he could have had a bigger splash. Granted, he had probably, like an 8-year career in the NBA, something roughly about that. I just felt like he could have I felt like he could have shined a little better. I felt like he never really hit his ceiling of top potential. I felt like he kind of plateaued, trying to get into that organized ball and relearn the game as far as the NBA level. It's not that freelancing stuff that you used to doing with And1. But yeah, Rafe Austin, man. Big Rafe, man. I remember watching the mixtapes, man, as a youngin', man. He used to blow my mind, bro. And I thought he was gonna be the one. I really did.
Gary, what's going on? How you doing, good sir? Come over here. We live, man. We live, sir. We live, sir.
I got to go, y'all.
You got a dip?
Yeah, I got to get out of here.
Whoa. Tell the people where they can find you.
J-Dobbs on Facebook, and then I'm going to drop my Instagram tag.
Man, appreciate it, Jay, man. Catch you on the flip, man.
He got a hot date. He got a hot date on the river. He finna have caribou loos. The drinks up the coconut melons and shit. That's what he finna go do. What's up, man, Gary, man? Right now we in here.
Gary in the building. We got Gary in the building, man. Mr. P on myself, sir. We got Gary in the building, man. We're gonna bring Gary up to speed, man. We out here having a good time in Juneteenth. So Gary, I know you played a little ball. Name a player growing up who was okay, but if they played in today's NBA, you think they would be a star?
I think Eddie Jones would be nasty. With defense, on offense, he's all around a great player, teammate, all that. I mean, I watched him play. He was one of my favorite players when I was watching him. You know that. You see it.
And then they've got
Wow.
We haven't debated about that too.
I think I figured out my pick. I'm going with Wacko Jacko.
Oh man.
I done seen Wacko Jacko locking up when he played some good defense. Wacko Jacko, Steve Jackson. Steve Jackson. I done seen Steve Jackson play good defense on the T-Max, on the Kobe. He was all these sides. Plus he can score. Old heads, man. Old heads. Give me the young head. This shit, the old head, man.
So you went with Steve Jackson? Why Steve Jackson? Why do you think he will be successful in this era?
I'm gonna go ahead and explain the Steve Jackson pick, you know what I'm saying, before I pass him off, just because of his size, his ability. Dude could score, but he also played good defense. When he was actually good in Indiana too, but with the Spurs, man, if they had just paid that dude, they actually could have won a little bit more. In my opinion.
Got another heater. Definitely white chocolate.
Oh yeah, Jason
Williams. Up top. Good. You already know. Got a highlight tape for like damn near 10 minutes.
Yeah.
All day.
This game transfer over.
I could definitely see that. I could definitely see white chocolate. So who got?
I got Rafe. I got Rafe Austin. Yep. Yeah, Rafe. His game, I feel like he had transferable game. He probably work on that shot a little bit, but yeah.
So we got Ray for Austin, Mr. Malice in the Palace. Then we got Lamar Odom with Jay. I forgot. Don't forget about Jay, man. Check him out, J-Dobbs, man. Eddie Jones and White Chocolate. Wow, I was not expecting that. That's wow. I think Gary trying to replace Jay. He coming in with the heaters, man. He came with 2 picks, man. I'm gonna have to change his nickname. He ain't Mr. P on himself no more. He Mr. Heater. Mr. Heater. He coming in with the shots fired, young people. Shots are fired, young people. This was tough for me, man, because if y'all know, anybody know me, like I'm a basketball nerd. My wife don't understand how she used to sit here and say, I don't understand how you can go play basketball, go home, play it on the PlayStation, turn the PlayStation off, and watch a basketball game. Shorty, I done had 4 kids watching the game. But for me, I went with, I really wanted to go with J.R. Ryder. I wore 34 because I love Walter Payton, but really it was because of him watching. I used to get in trouble, Mom, because UNLV, the games were late. My mom used to make me go to sleep, and I'm like, J.R. putting up 30, man. Hey, y'all, you like basketball?
I do.
Who's better? Come on, come get in the live. Come on. No, come on, no. You can't be right. You can't be taking pictures. Who's better? Michael Jordan. Come on. Michael Jordan or LeBron James? You gotta tell people. Tell them who's better, Michael Jordan. She said Michael Jordan. Thank you. But I didn't go with JR. I went with, surprised none of y'all said it, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. If you don't know about Chris Jackson, his name was Chris Jackson in college. As a freshman in college, hear this out, 30 points. Lottie Dottie got more head than he got body. Chris Jackson averaged 30 points a game his freshman year in college. Second year in college, averaged 28 per game. I think he was Steph Curry before Steph Curry. I think he was the type of guy who back then point guards were meant to be like John Stockton, as to where they were facilitators and hit the open shot and play defense. He was more like today's players where he's gonna take the first shot. 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be a good shot. And I feel like his speed and quickness, more or less quick. He was more quick than he was fast. Shifty. Earl Boykins was fast. TJ Ford was fast. Allen Iverson was fast. Speedy Claxton, fast. Mahmoud was quick. I think even if you see him now in the Big Three, he talks about stealing points. His basketball IQ, I feel like, was very underrated. And I also feel like he was definitely blackballed by the NBA. I feel like that, the way, how can I explain it? He was born in the wrong era the same way I feel Andre Drummond was born in the wrong era. Andre Drummond would be a perennial all-star if he was born, if he played in the 80s. But he plays now in this small man's game, and I feel like it's the opposite for Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. I feel like he played in a big man's game, and it didn't tailor to his style of play. So for me, I went with Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, man. I feel like if he played in today's game, he would be a better, more efficient Kemba Walker. If that makes sense. A poor man Steph Curry. But I think it would definitely be he'll be one of those guys that'll be year in and year out, he'll be a top 10, top 15 scorer every year. And I think he would be a perennial all-star, a la, I think he would take Trey. Well, Trey is a great passer too.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget. He actually led this year in points and assists. A lot of people didn't know that. But total points and assists, the only person to actually ever average that is Nate Archibald. That's another show, y'all. If you don't know about Nate Archibald, you are losing. You, Sir Mammoth, are a loser if you don't know who Nate Archibald is. People say Isaiah Thomas is the greatest small man ever, or Allen Iverson. Go look at Nate Archibald. He was 5'10", maybe $150 soaking wet, and led the league in points and assists. Just an absolute, and he's a lefty too. It's an absolute dog, man. If he would have actually won another championship with Boston, Nate Archibald, man. But for me, I went with Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. I think that guy, if you put him in this era with his basketball IQ, his ability to score the ball, this era was predicated and it was made for him. So I went with Mahmoud, man. Y'all had anything else y'all have to say, man, out there? Or? I think pretty good on that. Pretty good on that, BR. All right, man. I think that's a wrap for today, man. Had a lot of fun out here today, man. A lot of fun, man. 5th episode, man. It's been a blast. Juneteenth, Father's Day weekend, man. Got to meet some good people. I wish y'all could smell it. Got some smelling some good food. You know, smell it through the phone right now. But it's been a lot of fun, man. Finally putting that LeBron and MJ to rest. Everybody, I think, pretty much is in agreement that MJ is the GOAT. LeBron's phenomenal. But when you talk about that GOAT talk, it's only one, man. It's only one Jeffrey Jordan. But yeah, man, this has been fun. Old Heads, man, episode 5, episode 6. Tune in. We'll be back at our normal time, noon next week at noon. Old Heads, it's me, your co-host, Omar, Old Millie, aka Mr. Rello. Check us out on Facebook. We got a Twitter coming up. Actually, we got Twitter up. We got a train of thought, the video game. I got that going pretty soon too. What's that? Twitch. We got a Twitch account. I'm old, man. Yeah, I'm old. I'm an old head, man. I be forgetting stuff. We got a Twitch account coming, man. But please follow us on Facebook. Follow our episodes at Chendo, CEEHENDO on YouTube, man. We need all the views. Why look at SportsCenter when you can see us? Why would you want to look at Stephen A when you can look at me? Follow us, man. Don't look at SportsCenter. You can get all your basketball knowledge from Old Heads. This has been another great episode, man. This has been a blast. What's going on, fam? What's going on? Got that Kobe on? Oh, come on, fam. You know Kobe ain't better than LeBron. Kobe ain't better than LeBron. He flipped me off. I didn't appreciate that. Anyway, this has been a great episode, man. Episode 5 of Old Heads. I'm gonna kick it to Hendo. Where they can find you at?
Find me on Facebook, Whole Government Chris Henderson. You can find me on the Twitter account, 2KNEG, NEG2K. Otherwise, man, you guys have a blessed Father's Day weekend, man. We appreciate all the support, man. It's a beautiful Juneteenth day, man. Keep all the support coming, man. If y'all want some good food, make sure y'all go down to Press Break. Need some good clothes. Make sure you go set up the Guy Girl Club. And while you're doing all that, make sure you download that Bump That App Radio.
Yo, it's your boy B.I. You'll be looking in the daylight with a flashlight for me, man. You ain't gonna see me. But I'm gonna look out for y'all, man. Episode 5, man. I think that's a wrap. This has been a freaking blast, man. Blessing, man, to actually get a chance to do what I do, man. What's up, Xander? Watch Sports Center, where you can watch us. Old Heads. Oh, also, man, we're just talking to the brother right here. Be looking out for Old Heads off season. That's going to involve, we're going to talk about a little bit of UFC, specifically football. I mean, as much you guys wouldn't recognize, but as much knowledge as this brother has about basketball, he's probably even more knowledgeable about football, believe it or not. So we're going to be looking out for that, man. Old Heads off season. We're going to be having merch coming out. Trade Yourself segment. That's a BI segment. We're going to be starting that next week. Every episode, he's going to pick someone, any sport or basketball. That's his segment. I don't know how it's going to go, but he's going to pick someone that you want to know what? Your organization doesn't need to trade you. You need to trade yourself, sir. So this is, man, I'm telling y'all, man, this is like a dream come true, man. Getting a chance to build with these brothers, talk about basketball with these brothers. It's okay, little homie. I don't think you was too short. You good, B? What's going on? But yeah, this is having a blast, man. I think we're gonna get us some good barbecue, man. Enjoy this Father's Day weekend. Enjoy these Juneteenth with all these great people of color. How you doing, sir? Good. How you doing? Good. You like basketball?
Man, we waiting on you.
You like basketball? Come on, say we live, man. Who better? Who better? Michael Jordan. Who's better? Michael Jordan or LeBron James? Tell the people who's better.
They're both equal.
1 second, sir.
This is old heads. We not finna play that political mess over here. This is not Sports Center, sir. So we need to know, let the people know who's better. One more time. LeBron James, L.E.E. Bron, or Michael, a.k.a. Black Jesus. Who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
I'm gonna go with championships and money, so Michael Jordan.
Championships and money. You can't. I might put that on a T-shirt. Championships and money. Yes, sir. I like that. I like that. Yes, sir. That's how you end the episode, boy. Championships and money. Nothing wrong with that, man. How you doing? Good. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Happy Juneteenth. But yeah, man, we having a good time down here. Check us out, man. Still gonna be down here eating up some food, man. You wanna ask some questions? We'll be down here at Riverside Park, La Crosse, Wisconsin. Old Heads episode 5. It's a wrap. Episode 6 coming next Sunday, noon. We out.
So you gonna need some help moving all this stuff, huh?
Huh?
So you gonna need some help cleaning all this up, huh?